Hey guys, it's Ashley Romaldo, and I'm going to be going over my Socratic dialogue and just really everything that it encompasses. So, the big question that I decide to ask throughout this dialogue is, do we have to have violence to have peace? And this question shows up about halfway through the dialogue, but I felt this was really important to ask because it's a question I had really been struggling to understand myself throughout this semester, and I thought, what better way to answer my own question than to use it in my Socratic dialogue? So, my dialogue takes place in a classroom, and it's a discussion about a fictional murder book called A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. And it's really used to connect our studies to this murder investigation, which is an unlikely example that is shown and given in this classroom setting that students really have to figure out what the purpose of reading it is. And the frameworks and theories that I included was the frustration aggression theory, social identity theory, just peace, and nonviolence communication. And the reason that I chose these is because I wanted to show theories that I originally had a hard time grasping, or that I had a hard time kind of picking and placing them in um, real world examples. And so I wanted to show my knowledge and my strength that I have gained throughout this semester. So the scene takes place in a small classroom, about 15-20 students on an early class that's on a rainy Monday morning, and it's a conversation between four students and the professor. So the professor is named Dr. Rode, and the students are Cameron, and he inserts questions every now and then to really ask others. And Aaron understands the study, so he's there to also give explanations, as well as Amy. She gives explanations, piggybacking off of people. She interrupts sometimes. And Jane is really eager to ask questions. She's really eager to learn and give examples. And the interesting thing I kind of did here was I used different train of thoughts, different thought processes that I had going on when writing this, and I used them in the characters. You can see ones that are more optimistic, ones that are more pessimistic, as well as I've hidden the facilitator of Dr. Rode in this situation. He explains sometimes, but he's really there to help guide along these students and figuring out this question that he asks at the beginning and helping them get to that question and getting an answer. There's a little bit of mediation that can be seen when students, like I said, some of them interrupt and they're trying to figure out a common answer. They're trying to get to a common point, and they all have to work together to do that. So I've kind of hidden those in there. So the examples that I've used through this dialogue was mainly off of this book, which is about a girl who's trying to uncover who committed these murders, why it's being covered up, really has to dive into the history to find the reasons why. And so I use this to show, how you can use our field of study in looking at, a lot of different fields of study. So I really want to show the diversification of our study. I also used the Black Panther movement and some little tidbits here and there. I didn't really go into detail. I really want to focus on my narrative that I was putting in there. But I also used the meetings that we've had to go over our own books that we've had to read, and to showing how I formatted my dialogue, kind of the questions I asked, and just how I made it smoothly run. The importance of this dialogue, like I said, connects study to real world examples. I really want to show the diversification of our field of study and how it can be applied into the world and the society we live in. And for me, I found it really easy to think of, facilitation, counseling, negotiators, mediators, things like that. And I really wanted to show a field or an area of interest that I was really interested in, which is criminals, like the investigations and things like that. And I was like, it would be so cool to actually see how our field of study is applicable to that. And so I really want to show the vast range in which we can use our study and how to apply it. And I really also used this dialogue to debate within myself the questions I had and to gain knowledge. So in conclusion, I had a lot of fun with this. It's not quite done, but I'm really excited to see how it turns out. And I thank you for watching my presentation.